Change the title already so I can go
And
straight.
we are live Sunday night with those guys.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. I'm just waiting for this window to pop up. I don't know why I have to go through all of that. What's good, man? What's going on? Bad news spreading all over the United States and the rest of the world about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, sad.
It is sad because it's unconfirmed here. And I'm saying unconfirmed here because I don't know the actual truth, but they claim one of his children also. So my condolences to the family and all you basketball fans out there, I could imagine are mourning. And didn't we mention him today earlier? You were saying one of the greatest players.
Well, I mean,
one of the last greatest players.
Yeah, you know, when you start talking about players.
Joe Mack, welcome from Ireland. Hey, Al. Yeah, but see, I'm not really in the sports. And I told you, hey, Paul, I literally get in this. I'm one of those championship fans. After it comes down to about four to two teams, then I start saying, oh, well, I think this person will do it. What's up, Corey Mano?
Well, the guys
what you guys think about Kobe Bryant dying?
We were just mentioning it that it was that's real sad, and it's unconfirmed here, but they claim one of his children were with him too.
Yep, 13-year-old daughter, and there was a
name. So that is confirmed then.
Yep.
Yeah.
13-year-old daughter and 4 other people on board the helicopter.
What's up, Night Train? How are you? Yeah.
What's good, man?
It is sad because someone had sent me a clip of someone because they said there were witnesses. And the witnesses did see the helicopter going down, and someone had sent me one of the clips that's going around on the internet of the helicopter spiraling down. So I didn't know until
Night Train heard the exact same thing I heard.
What happened?
Night Train, what do you put in the chat? Does the same thing that I heard. There was another parent and another child involved, and a couple other people.
What's up, Xavier? How are you? Yes, rest in peace, Kobe. What's up, Ray?
Yeah,
and it's sad. It's sad because that was his own personal helicopter.
He was 41 years old.
Yeah.
I'm a Kobe fan from Lighthouse. When he came out of high school, man, I got autographed book, autographed jersey, man. Like, I'm hurt, man. I'm a Laker fan for life, man. Like, that's, and not only that, his daughter was in there with him, bro. Like, it's
that's sad.
And the other story coming out of it is
Rick Fox's daughter, like supposed
all
to be
all of the books now, Kobe's books at online have been sold out everywhere.
Yeah, they sold out.
That's
seconds.
That's literally. I'm not surprised at all. I'm
hurt, man. It's a sad thing, man. To see how the NBA is even showing support, man. You know. Yeah. So, but anyway, other than that, everybody else is healthy, blessed, family good.
Yeah, man. Everyone. Well, I wasn't good yesterday. Herman, no. I experienced food poisoning.
Well, you're too old for that. Was you eating sushi?
Was it food poisoning, or did you get a little bit too much of that wacky?
Stop it, Paul.
Wacky moonshine.
No, trust me, it was food poisoning. Yesterday at about 4:00 in the morning when I got up and started until like last night, maybe about 9 or 10. It was just starting to run through me, but there was definitely food poisoning.
Well, you said the magic word. Let it run through you, man. That's how you get it out.
Didn't have no choice. I had to keep drinking water because I was spitting it out like it was a sponge.
Yeah.
What's up, Justin?
What's up, Justin?
You know?
All right.
You know, but
what's going on, man?
It's not Puerto Rican food, Al. Hold on, Al Diaz goes, it's Puerto Rican food. That wasn't it, dude. It wasn't it.
So did you hear what they said now?
What's that?
That it's not confirmed yet, but everyone's saying that Rick Fox might have been on the helicopter with him.
No, his daughter. It was his daughter.
Oh, his daughter?
Yeah,
No,
because
I know his daughter's on there, but now they're saying Rick Fox might have been on there with him.
yeah, well, that's not confirmed, but Rick Fox's daughter and Allen Iverson, one of his daughters, they all play on Kobe's team.
Right.
You know, and Kobe coaches them and stuff. So they were going to a game, you know. But I don't know. I see Easy put a video up. I don't know if that's real, man. I ain't even look at it. I'm not
If
even
it's
trying
the
to see
video,
that.
I
Man.
was saying, if it's the video of the helicopter spiraling down,
They don't look like no
supposedly that was his helicopter, because they said they had mad witnesses. And
Really?
yeah. People
what
are
do you
out
say,
there.
Herman? You don't believe that that's the actual
Listen,
deal?
I'm not getting
Right. That's
into that.
right. Me neither.
That was sadistic
right.
for people to even send that.
Right. My thing. That's my point right there. I didn't even want to see
But
that.
they showed it on the news already. So
What news were you
These were
watching
I
that
didn't
showed
see
that
that.
sadistic picture that you sent me?
these were supposed to be witnesses.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking you what news you saw
Well, nowadays,
that-
nothing surprises me.
that
about
showed
the
that picture.
Cameras are everywhere. Phones are everywhere.
I get it. I get it. But I want to know what news you said showed that picture.
Yeah,
I'll
me too.
check. I'll check. I'll check for that.
It's bad. I saw Izzy. I said, "Oh shit, how Izzy get that?" But you know, it's tragic, man. Anything, man. You know.
Well, and the thing of it is, wasn't it like 10:30 this morning? So the news agencies have had all kinds of chance for everybody to call their news saying, "I've got it, I've got it, I've got it."
True.
Yeah,
That's
Very
just
true.
the same thing when, if you remember when what's her name, Aaliyah died in that crash,
Yeah.
and what was his name there from Hot 97? Star and Buck Wild played that clip from some people in on a roller coaster making noise going
Oh yeah,
over.
yeah. That was messed up.
Supposedly is a soundbite of the plane going down when
I just
she
looked
died.
at
Yeah, well, that if you remember,
that
that
got them
also
bounced
cost,
right up out of the radio station.
that cost them lose their job too.
Yo, I hope that's not the actual video. I really do.
So when I
you,
hear Kobe Bryant
I really do.
died in a plane crash and a helicopter accident, and I don't see that on the news, but I hear the story on the news, and then you send me that video of some helicopter spiraling down the side of a mountainside, bursting into flames. That's sadistic, bro.
All right, understood. The only footage I have is of a helicopter hovering over the ashes. That's it, over the rubbish.
Hey, Herman, do we need to congratulate you on buying another Phantom 4? I see a new box in the background.
You know what, man? Stop looking at the boxes.
Phone start again.
Now he's going to start hiding it.
There you go.
Okay, you keep your secret, Herman. You keep your secret.
What's up, nameless droner?
I'm not that guy that goes into the DJI store and wanders around tomorrow. You know, I went in there to get this one, but this one looks so cute, so I had to bring this one too. And he had a brother, so I had to take. No, I'm not that guy.
Well, as far as what's happening in the drone world, there's not a whole lot of brand new news, other than, wait a minute, I think I did bookmark something.
Everybody hit the like
hasn't
button.
been.
Well, still keep in mind that around Hard Rock Stadium, the Miami Beach Convention Center, and Bayfront Park are still no drone zones this
For
week.
30 nautical miles.
Right.
Now, this is a notice to all drone pilots and geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is a
Who
no
even think
drone zone.
Now, keep in mind, who even think
Genius.
that you can pull it off and you can fly, just go up in the middle of nowhere. They have drone detection devices. Last year, they caught 2 people at last year's Super Bowl and arrested them on the spot. So I guarantee you, if you do try it, by the time you get in the air, maybe 50 feet, someone's going to run up on you. So make the news. We would love to talk about you.
Yes.
What's up, Jay Santiago? We would love to talk about you in the event that you think you can go up. We're saying do not do it. Don't even think about it. Don't even look at your drone that night. If you live anywhere.
It kills me. I could see if it
You
was
you,
open-
forgot the
it
you
was
forgot
an
the most
open
important
stadium.
one.
What?
Don't try to burn your batteries so you can get them low. Just to
Oh, don't
storage
try and
mode.
discharge your batteries.
No, put it in storage mode. You know,
Right.
I'm just saying.
Don't use that for
saying.
actually. Yeah, don't use that for excuse either. I had to burn my batteries out.
It's all good. It's all good. We understand. But
Yeah.
if you do listen to this live stream, you were forewarned. If you do see this live stream, if someone plays this live stream back to you, if you get caught, we will talk about you. I want you to know that. I'm being honest. We will call you all kinds of names in the sake of legal drone flying. So if I find out somebody's flying,
I just think to find enough, it'd be worth nobody say nothing to them.
don't nobody say nothing to them, just the fine alone.
They're not gonna be able to afford to fine. I promise you that. I promise you
Above and beyond,
that.
how are you?
Anybody who's flying these recreational drones are not gonna be able to afford that fine.
No.
True.
And if they can, what the freak are they doing up in there flying these drones then?
Yeah.
Because
This
that
is
fine,
true.
it will be over 10 grand because they're gonna set example, and that's gonna be the
Mhm.
first money in the kitty towards that remote ID.
Well, does anyone ever know? This is interesting. Does anyone ever know what happened to the guys that got caught during last year's Super Bowl?
Yeah, they got stiff fines. They got like
Oh no,
25.
I know they
Yeah.
got stiff
They
fines.
didn't
But
get no jail time. They got like
okay, they just hit
$25,000
them with the
fine
money.
each.
Said, "Bam!" Hit the wallet.
They banned from any games, any sporting events for life. Their names is in the computers, all of
Their
that. So they can't,
pictures, fingerprints, everything.
everything. So that's how you really hurt a person. Like you can't go to no basketball, football, soccer, no kind of games.
Hmm.
You know, and you got a stiff fine.
The thing about that is though, when you get banned from these places, it's hard to say that you're banned from just the football game or whatever, because the security of the place has facial recognition. So if you're banned,
You banned all over.
you're
bro.
banned.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All over.
You can't go to the concerts or anything.
Nope,
there.
anything, Herm. Anything. And not only that building, everywhere.
Because I'll tell you this:
the link.
when you go in to the Barclays Center, from you come through that turnstile,
Yeah.
in Atlantic Avenue train station,
Yeah.
their security can watch. They watch you from. They can watch.
Oh, they
you
can
from
watch you
there,
walking all the way down into the train station.
straight all the way into the building.
Off the train. Watch you get off the train.
Right,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they have the security camera linked all the way down into the subway.
That's it.
When
That's
you
like
get off.
40. That's like Central Command at 42nd Street. If you
that's
get
serious,
off
man.
the A train at 42nd Street and you walk up through one of the Port Authority bus terminals that's connected to the A train, from the time that you click that turnstile to walk out of the subway system, your picture from there to the next avenue over has been taken at least 400 times and run through computers. And that's only for the anti-terrorist stuff. Not to say if you're banned from someplace, you're going to come up flagged anyway. It's kind of messed up that they would, but
That little square that goes around your face when you have face tracking on your phone or your camera,
yep.
that thing comes up around you red when
In
you
a
walk
crowd.
in the building.
In a crowd. Oh, so what do you guys, have you guys heard about this DJI Matrice 300, which is supposed to be half the size of the Matrice 600?
Yeah.
How many of those you got on order, Paul?
Yeah, Paul, because I'm looking at the stats here and they're prompt, according to Drone DJ, they're talking about 50 minutes plus flight time, a max payload of 2.7 pounds. So if you have a camera that weighs up to 2.7 pounds, you're good to go. It holds 1, 2, 3 different types of payload, and your FPV camera that you fly with, your video back feedback is 1080p.
Yeah.
Like
And
all their birds like that,
that's
right?
the problem with the big drones. I've had the big drones. Everything is an add-on. It doesn't make a difference what kind of camera, what kind of lens. You buy the drone for, let's say, 600 is probably going to be around 2,800 to 3,600.
Mhm.
Then if you want it to do anything, then you got to add.
ProRes license and all that stuff.
And you know what? Yeah, you're right about
It's
that,
the-
Paul. Because like the Matrice 600, this one can carry 1, 2, or 3 cameras at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
You said, Paul, it's a $3,000 unboxing.
Yep.
Now, if you want it to fly,
Only the bird.
if you want it to fly now,
That's right. You know, it's like when I bought my first infrared
that I
camera
read
that went on my Inspires.
uh-huh.
It was $9,000.
Yeah.
And I kept it for 3 months, and the best I could get for it when I sold it was $4,500.
Look at that, Paul. Look at that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, look at this. This Matrice says a distance of 10 kilometers, so that's basically 5 miles. Now, 3 channels from the aircraft, and 2 of those channels go to 2 independent controllers, meaning, of course, you're going to fly it. One
A
guy's
master
going to
and
be
a
the
slave,
cameraman,
yeah.
one's going to be the cameraman, and
The
one's going to
pilot.
be the pilot.
Yep.
And you still have an extra channel. But
The extra channel for that station,
yeah, well,
the ground station.
it's like if you think about it, it's like the Inspire series. The Inspire series really wasn't meant to be flown by itself.
No.
Because whenever I see them using it in Hollywood or on big shoots, there's one guy that's the cameraman and there's one guy that's the pilot. The cameraman tells the pilot what kind of shot he wants and what angle he wants to come in and stuff like that,
Yeah.
following the target. And the cameraman's supposed to do the rest of the work.
Yo, Lawrence, you just hit the nail right on the head. I don't know if you know it or not.
What?
If that new Matrice, what do you say, 300?
Mm-hmm.
That is going to replace that Inspire 3, because the Inspire 3, they complain that it's too big. They're trying to shrink it down. Now, being that you can mount 3 cameras on that one, that might put some damage in that Inspire 3 right now.
Well, the only thing that I think the reason they may come
Excuse me
out
one
with an
second.
Inspire 3
Uh-huh.
is the fact that people that fly Inspires like the look of that Inspire. You know how the legs
look.
went up,
Yeah.
articulated and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Matrice doesn't move as nimble as an Inspire.
No.
Well, it doesn't, right, because it's not for cinematic. The Matrice, I know they've been using it for farms, man, agriculture.
Yep.
Stuff like that, probably,
Well, that's what Lawrence is going to do when he moves out in the country.
I know that one's coming.
He's gonna get one of those sprayer units, and that's what he's gonna do.
Now, Lawrence gonna have to hit the lotto or something to stay in New York City. Other than that, he out of here, right?
Yep.
Who knows?
Only Bo know, huh?
He got his thing all muted up there, but who knows? Maybe he might be up there in Syracuse. He won't need that. He needs something like a snowblower, flares, or something like that.
Lawrence will be the first one to have
Sled.
a snowblower mounted on the front of a Matrice.
And then he be wherever he gonna move at, he gonna be in a land no fly zone. He gonna be tight.
Yep. Hello, Curtis. How you doing?
That would be a
What's up, Curtis? Eagle VP. How are you, buddy? What's
Yo,
up, Geeks
Curtis.
Vana?
So Kurt,
Sean.
what's up, Sean?
What's up, man?
Sean Geeks Vana.
He's
You
been
know I
putting
sent
out,
you
he's
an
been
invite,
putting out
right?
some drone news lately. Sean has.
Hey, Lawrence.
Yeah.
They kind of wanted an update on your moving up in the country.
Yeah. We
Or
figured,
it's
we
better,
figured maybe
it's
that
better known
Matrice,
as the country.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
maybe
gonna
that
be. It's
Matrice-
gonna better known as the country.
Is the
maybe
country.
that Matrice you could mount a snowblower on it.
If I could afford a Matrice, I wouldn't be moving there. What's up, Joseph? If I could afford a Matrice 300 or 600, I definitely wouldn't be moving there, because I'd have to have something like that in Hawaii or someplace.
Everybody make sure you hit the like button for him.
Jackson RC, how are all of you guys?
So you got to go all
Centroid.
the way to Hawaii to own a Matrice?
What happened?
You got to go all the way to Hawaii just to own a Matrice? There's no
Well-
place on the mainland that would make you happy.
I don't even want to be on the mainland.
There's,
I don't even want to
there's
be on
no
the
place. Hold on a second. There's no place on the mainland that you would be happy enough
No
Nope.
place
you
in
could
the
own
Nope.
that you could own a Matrice.
Nope.
Wow. Okay.
Nope. So if you ever hear I brought a Matrice, you can guarantee the next time you hear from me, I'll be calling you from Hawaii.
That'll be the day after his visa and everything went through.
What's up, Mark? Skies took my drone. How are you? Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. Click that like button. All
Hey,
right.
Centroid, how you doing?
Yeah, how are you, Mark? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy.
Centroid.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Haven't seen him in a while. Don't know what's
I saw
happening
the other day.
in the world of FPV with him. I haven't seen a video by him either. In fact, I need to go to his channel and see if we're even still affiliated, because you know how YouTube be doing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you don't see, yeah, I'm still subscribed to him. Okay.
Yeah.
So Geek Savannah, you got any hot new news?
Well, I know he was working on a video, a Dear FAA video. We sent him some stuff. So I'm interested to see how that's going to come out. Chris Hope, how are you? Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys.
Hello, Chris Hope.
What's good, man?
So Paul, like Herman said, what's up? You going to buy a Matrice 300
I'm
or what?
pretty much on hold until I figure out what the FAA is doing. You know, I've got all these want lists, everything listed on the want list.
Oh, okay.
But I've learned the hard way that it's like you don't go buy a boat if they're calling for no more water in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. But none of this stuff is going to happen with the FAA for a while. They're still trying to figure out how to get rid of Lance and still tell you where you can fly and where you can't.
But here's what scares me. If you watch YouTube and all these guys talking about the FAA changes, the bottom line, every one of them says is that, well, it's not going to take place for 2 to 3 years, and everybody always replaces their drones in 2 to 3 years. And I say, what?
Hold on a second. Mark says he's coming down here to the city next weekend. Says he's doing a workshop with the New York City Police Department.
Hold on a second, Paul.
Yeah.
You remember when I said to you before, in the drone community and every community, people spread a specific type of verbiage that after a while it starts to not make any sense.
Yep.
That's exactly where you were going with that.
That's exactly. And it's like it's like the Evo thing. You know, it's like now they're saying, well, we don't know when we're going to ship.
Hey, Centroid, I send you an invite if you want to pop in. Well, all I can say is we'll see where it goes. Right now that they're fear mongering. That's what I feel that FAA is doing, because they just spent all this money to get Lance up and running, and Lance isn't even still perfected because they still have 0 altitude areas where people can take off.
Yeah.
At least here in New York they can.
Well, that has nothing to do with the other.
Well,
Lance though actually run by a third party operator?
Yep. Exactly. Hadley, what's up, Joe? How are you? What's going on? That Centroid says he's driving right now. He's using voice to text, probably. Yeah, I'm not even going to repeat that.
Not a good idea.
I'm not even going to repeat that one.
That's not good.
But no, right. No, understandable, Mark.
Yeah.
But Eagle VP, how have you been? Haven't seen you in a while. And Joe Mack was here from Dublin. He is here early. He was like one of the first people in here.
Hadley.
Brand Aerials.
Yeah, Hadley was grounded this weekend due to some personal physical issues. And I was damn sure grounded yesterday due to some personal issues. I mean, really, real dude. I didn't know I had that much liquid inside of me. Serious, bro. And when you drink water and it comes up immediately, you have food poisoning. That's just your body saying you're not going to eat or absorb anything else until this shit runs through me.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I have to turn over some
that's not
some
exactly
chicken. I have to turn some chicken over.
What's
in the oven.
happening is
Give me a
it's,
minute.
it's such a riot going on down there that anything nice is getting tossed out the club.
Exactly. Who's X1024?
You see.
You sent a
It's on Crowley, right? It's on
Oh, Crawley, and then I sent an invite to I don't know who
Justin?
X10. Oh, okay. Don't say any names. That's who it is. There.
Who?
The voice to text man. I'll be right back.
Who's that? Mark?
That's a mystery person there.
Hiding in the back?
Yeah.
So what's good, Mr. Crowley?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
We got.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit.
Can't.
A little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
We can hear and
Yeah, I
see.
can't. I don't know if this is going to be good. I'm driving right now, and I don't want to break any major laws, but I just figured I'd pop in and say hello. I know I haven't been around in a while.
Hey, well, if your travel buddy Val can do it, you can do it, Mark.
Well, I'm not as. I'm not saying that she's any good at it either.
Hey, for a treat for us, go through a drive-through, will you? We want to talk to him.
No, I'm on the throughway. No drive-throughs here.
Oh man.
Yeah, they had a report on the news telling people about how they should use less cream in their coffee because when you use so much cream, it's something with the environment and you're contributing to some nonsense I was listening to, and I'm like, what? For a little bit of cream?
Yeah, well, no, probably because you're contributing to the use of milk.
Yeah.
Which means you're contributing to the
Killing
proliferation of more cows.
Right.
And that, apparently the methane is one of the leading causes of greenhouse gases, if people don't realize it.
Well,
Capture that methane and use it for electricity.
Exactly.
I'm going to invest in the newest thing is breast milk farming. So I'm gonna start investing in breast milk farming.
Okay.
How you gonna do this, Paul? Because you need to be able to. You know what? Never mind.
Oh, what?
Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the stairs. All I hear is breast milk.
Yeah,
My only question is walking across the room, hearing this conversation is who you going to get to volunteer to breast milk, Paul?
Well, there's all these women out there that are packing them, and so they might as well hook them up to a machine.
Where? In your town?
Yeah.
No, they actually have that. I don't know why people would buy it, but you can buy breast milk.
Yes.
If you think about it, I don't know. I don't know. You heard about it on the news where in Flushing, what happened was people in China would pay someone in the U.S. They would send their baby here. They would take care of their whole baby for a year. They would come here, have the baby, pay someone $10,000, and they would be in like a building hotel type thing, and they would take care of the baby. So the mother goes back to China. The kid is here with basically a nanny taking care of them.
Yeah.
Call it anchor baby, as my wife said.
Hey, Mayor's Drone Adventures, how are you?
So
Nameless Droner said his wife would do
going
it.
On for a while.
Paul,
Huh?
Nameless Droner said his wife would do it. What's up, Mr. Crowley?
There you go.
The problem with what Paul is talking about is that now we bordering around now with how do you hook up people and call it a farm, Paul? Seriously.
It's a milking farm.
That's not good.
It's a
Not
milking
good.
farm.
Yeah, but
they're gonna have. Well,
do you
here's
know
what
the
they're gonna.
problems that occur at the regular milk farms?
Do you remember the old voting booths where you used to pull the curtain? They're gonna have those all over town, and you're gonna go up there, put your ID card in, and the machine's gonna come up there and.
Paul, you understand this milk is not to be used with your brownies, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what he's trying to do, hoard his own milk.
So
Paul's gonna be like, yo, it just makes the ice cream so much sweeter.
Yeah.
Ah,
So is it kind of like how a blood bank is?
Yeah.
It adds a whole new meaning to the words.
Exactly, Paul. That's different now. When you go to this place and Paul's got acres and acres of people hooked up to tubes.
It looked like a sci-fi movie.
This is a completely demented version of the Matrix. You know that. Paul.
Yep, there you go.
The milk tricks.
Oh,
You going to jail, man.
Yeah.
You hooked
Disclaimer.
up.
Disclaimer.
It's good, yeah, right.
Wait.
The views and
You know
opinions
the
that are heard
problems
tonight.
that occur at regular dairy farms with the udders becoming infected and all kind of stuff.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
novice quads. I gotta say one thing. It's got to be me because you guys are having such a good conversation about drones. I come in. Paul starts talking about milk farming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think that is the reason why.
Now,
this
wait a
goes
minute.
down. It's me.
If you rerun
I'll
it
take-
back, novice Lawrence was talking about getting rid of cows because of the Green Deal, whatever.
What are you talking about?
No, it was
This
about
kind
the
of- this whole
drive-thrus
conversation-
with less cream.
This conversation changed when I walked away from the screen.
Yeah, when he was out there.
Exactly. And when I came in,
Yeah, well, what Lawrence did is he walked out and started poking chickens. The next thing you know, we're back here,
now we're poking chickens.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
I
Oh,
had to
Lord.
flip some chicken over.
He
in
was
the oven.
flipping chicken.
You guys ought to not be
Well, there's
around
flipping
farm
chicken
animals.
and there's poking
Oh,
chicken. Paul. Two
so,
different things.
Mark, what's the deal, Mark? Would you come into the city next weekend?
Yeah, we're doing a marathon from Syracuse to New York and back to Syracuse on Saturday. We're doing a workshop with the New York City Police Department, not with their drones, but I think it's an educational opportunity that the police are trying to get involved in the community with drones, and they're looking at some, and they're having us come down and do some demonstration and talk to them about our program.
Where's the
flying with
turnaround
some-
point?
What do you mean? Where's the turnaround point?
You say you're coming from Syracuse down?
No,
Oh.
I'm coming from Syracuse to New York City, and then after the workshop, come right back to Syracuse.
Okay.
Is,
Okay.
is it
Long
open?
day.
What police department are you going to be working with?
Yeah.
I can link that to you later. I'm in the truck right now.
Okay.
But for some reason, I'm thinking the Bronx.
Well, that's not far. That's not far from where we are.
I just found out about this today. I'm like, I'm going where, when, and how long? So
What's
But
up,
you need to
explicit?
send
How
a
are you?
special invite to those guys so that they can give you some realistic.
if I could, I would. I'll
Yeah.
see what I can do, but I can't make any promises.
Well, at least let us know what day you're down there. If the weather's nice, we'll try and try and work out something.
Well, we're going to be down on Saturday, week from yesterday.
Oh, that sucks because I work Saturday.
Yeah, that's,
But-
and
but-
I don't think
but-
I'm going to have much time because I'm carpooling.
But there are
with you.
other members that might be able to meet you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm carpooling, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to sneak away because, like I said,
Yeah,
It starts at
probably
1.
you'll be busy the whole time.
yeah, it's either traveling workshop or traveling back. I don't think I'm going to have much time for doing much else.
Well, make sure you get some footage of the trip.
Oh, I will. I'll do
Hey,
something.
hey, Nameless, that's Centroid, and he's in his car, so that's why it's dark. He doesn't have any light.
Good for you,
It's on
Mark.
his
That
cell
sounds
phone.
Pretty cool.
Is that better?
That's better.
I can do that. It's not
Okay.
that dark. It's not-
Yeah, let us know at least
are
at
feeling right now. That is the shot of LeBron James after the Lakers game.
what's that? Someone's
Who's that?
LeBron
someone's
James.
TV. No, someone was listening to.
Mr. Crowley's grinning there, I think.
Not me.
Oh,
No, it really isn't.
Mr. Crowley,
What's going on, brother?
how's it going?
Hey, congratulations going up. Yeah, I know. Congratulations on the New York thing. That's cool.
Well, we'll see. It sounds like a long day to me.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a real long day.
well,
That's
the other
okay.
thing that'd be interesting, Mark, is to get your impression is what cops think about drones.
Well, you know darn well I'm bringing up the FAA crap.
Yep.
What's up,
What
Nate?
happened?
He's going to bring up about the FAA.
Oh, okay.
And what their
Well,
thoughts on it.
Paul, does
That's gonna
anyone
be
know
quite
about how
interesting.
much that Matrice 300 is going to cost? Really?
No, I'm just guessing. I
Diane.
think it's going to be somewhere around the 3,000, north of $3,000.
North of
How to get
3,000.
into the
I was thinking more like
original one, the
$6,000.
whole setup with a camera, the view, depending on whatever camera setup you had,
Depends upon the
it could
setup. Yes.
cost you like about an expedition.
Because I know they're talking about the Zen Mouse camera,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even mention anything that the Inspire can carry.
No, and when I say north of 3,000, that's just the bird. That's no cameras,
Yeah.
no bells, no whistles, no nothing.
But it does have six direction obstacle avoidance, which I would believe is 360-degree
Yeah.
obstacle avoidance. So it has 6-side obstacle avoidance. So that's got to be top, bottom, south, north, east, west, around. That's
Yep.
6 point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would be interested just to see what it looks like in comparison to the Matrice 600, because the Matrice 600, looks like you could put a small child on top of it and he could fly it. But this is the link here for Drone DJ. He has all the specs here and a bunch of other links to it. If
Well, I
you
know-
want to,
I know-
see what it looks like. It's
Uber-
supposed to look like a mini version, actually a 4-prop version. Where doesn't the 600 isn't 600 a hexcopter?
I heard Uber has applied to do drone deliveries to the local jails and prisons.
Hey, guys,
To-
have you heard the latest? Have you been keeping tabs on the drone situation, mysterious drone situation out west?
Out west,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't know what to make of it because the FAA doesn't know anything. The
Well,
military
there
doesn't
is-
know anything. But hold on, one thing. A lot of the jets are 6 feet wide,
Yeah.
and there's nothing consumer level like that. A lot of
Well-
them they say are 6 feet. So what do you think? What?
Well, here's the thing, and if Geeks Vana is still in the chat, because I can't keep an eye on the chat with this link open on my phone, maybe he can lead some credence to it. There's a bit of a conspiracy now. In fact, apparently they're applying for the Freedom of Information Act to try to get info on this because here's the conspiracy. They feel that it is the government flying these drones, and it's adding fuel to their argument as to why there should be more regulations on drones.
Well,
So it's almost as if they're creating the problem to get their way with their rules to make the argument
They've
that
been
we got to
doing
stop
this.
these drones.
Well, here's something that makes it a
Every
little
country
interesting
does that.
because the territory that they're flying between, first of all, people are seeing these drones go in one direction, which means it's a one-way trip. Okay. And only one, the lady that Geeks Vana had actually interviewed was saying how one of the drones separated from the crowd and came and hovered over her house and supposedly snapped a photo or flashed a light or whatever and went back in the other direction while the others kept going. Now, my thing is she also mentioned that there are missile bays spread out through that part of the country and that it could be that they're testing anti-drone technology. That was just someone's hypothesis, but all I
But
know is,
remember, the military this doesn't apply, the new proposal, to the military.
of course, but my point in saying there's no way in the world the military doesn't know anything, and there's no way in the world the FAA doesn't know anything when they can spot what kind of bird it is and whether it's pregnant when it's flying in.
Right.
And this is why they're going. There are certain groups supposedly applying for the Freedom of Information Act to try to get them to show
release
documentation,
the information.
documentation of this kind of activity.
Well, Mark, didn't this last week an official spokesperson for the military make the statement that they will not confirm or deny that they have any involvement?
Oh yeah, the
Of course,
military is
they're
going to
always
tell you
gonna
to
say
trust.
that.
The military is going to tell you they're testing anti-drone technology against around their missile bays.
Right.
You know, but and I just find it really hard. They can detect anything in the air over 250 feet. Okay, after you're below 250 feet, it's kind of hard because radar doesn't bounce like that. But even with satellite, you mean to tell me they can't detect anything? And the fact that these drones are at a minimum of 6 feet and different various sizes and shapes. Once the lady that if you got to watch Geeks Vana video, I'm going to see if I can pull it up. If you're in here, Sean, put the link. But the interview, the lady says that some of them have lights going down the middle, some of them have lights on the end. So it sounds like different various types of drones, and they're traveling at different speeds. They have different light patterns. They have different shapes.
Like they're scanning the area.
And based on their speed and the length of time in the air, there's no way it's a hobby recreational drone.
Exactly. And I doubt very much someone's flying a 6-foot fixed wing amongst 30 other different types of areas, and they're flying in formation, which leads me to believe that they're all flying autonomously under some type of main control. But the fact that she said one broke off and came closer to her house and then went back in the other direction, who knows? Who knows what the deal is? We're not going to find out. There it is. Sean put that video there. You guys click that video link and click watch it later, because he actually interviews someone, and where she lives, this young lady, where she lives out there, she's out in the middle of nowhere. She says you can hear a truck a few miles away miss a gear. So it's got to be really quiet out there. You know, if you hear a truck coming a few miles down the road, Dad, there's nothing out there other than wildlife and nature. Animals killing each other at night trying to eat. So watch that video. Thanks, Sean, for Geeks Found for posting that. It's a good video. And first thing I said was, how the hell did he get an interview with her? And he's in the UK, and we're here. And so I'm like, wait a minute, he's like the roving reporter. It's a good interview.
He's good, no doubt. He's good.
It's a good interview, though. Check it out when you get a chance. And support each other's channels. Click that like channel. I see a lot of lurkers out there. You guys that are lurking on your phones and your tablets, don't be afraid to come in. We don't bite anymore.
Hard. Or that hard.
I said anymore.
A little nibble here and there, but that's about it.
Here's an update. This is probably gonna change a lot of stuff. So now it's not 5 people, it's a total of 9 people on the helicopter.
Well, you got to include the pilots.
Well, that's what happened.
There had to be a minimum of 2 pilots, because according to me, what I saw, his private helicopter needed 2 pilots. Maybe one a pilot and one a navigator. I don't know, but they had a 2-man crew.
When did the helicopter go down?
Is this Kobe Bryant?
Early this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that flash on my phone earlier.
Yeah.
So that's true.
Yeah, they're having a press conference probably within like 10-20 minutes.
Okay.
His helicopter went down?
Night Train says a pilot and 8 others. Okay.
Yeah. And all confirmed dead?
Supposedly, yeah, all confirmed.
And did they say what caused it?
They don't know. It went down. They say it went down really fast.
They said the FAA was just notified of the crash and they have to investigate, and there's nothing else being said.
Who was in it, guys?
Kobe Bryant.
Oh my God, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was flashing across everyone's phones.
Yeah.
And
I haven't
like
I haven't watched TV, haven't got a message on my phone. I've been flying all day.
This morning at 10:30.
Not all day, but
Well, right now they're saying that him and his 13-year-old daughter perished in the flight, but anyone else we really don't know.
That's horrible.
And he just had a newborn. His wife just had a newborn.
Yeah, he was 41 years old.
That's awful.
Hey, let me know when I can share something, Lawrence. I want to show you guys.
Go for it. Go ahead.
Okay, this came across.
Hold on to anyone watching and or lurking. Notice what Paul did. He asked, could he show something? He didn't just blast it on there. You got to do that nowadays, Paul. I appreciate it very much. Go for it, man.
The host has disabled your
Hey,
share.
what's up, Corey? Go ahead. What happened?
The host has disabled your sharing screen.
Are you serious? I didn't turn it back on?
No.
No.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Let me see. I don't know if I can do it while.
Okay, that's all right. It's
Hold
not a big
on.
deal.
Let me see if I can do it while live. That's the problem.
I just thought it was something that you would really like, Lawrence.
Well, send me the link in the chat. Send the link in the on the panel chat.
Okay, I can
and
do
I'll
that.
put it up.
Okay.
Brant Ariels goes, Paul is such a gentleman. Actually, I had cut it off, Paul, because there's certain individuals that come in on the panel and then they flash something on screen in the middle of a conversation to make everyone go squirrel. So I said, all right, I'll fix them. And I cut that feature off.
Well, you said you were going to free Paul.
Yeah,
I understand. It's I know where I stand now. That's okay.
Paul, I was against it, but he said I'm going to do
Stop
it
it,
anyway.
Paul.
I know.
Oh, stop
You
it.
can't turn it off.
I had you back, man.
Oh, that is fact. Hold on. That is pretty cool, Paul. Hold on a second.
And if you watch, if you go down and look at it in demonstration, it's a speaker, a lamp, and everything else.
You guys see this? It's a floating UFO lamp, which is actually a speaker too.
And it changes colors and lights and everything else. You can just
How
you
much
tap,
Yeah, you could keep that.
Yeah, how much? What's
you
the
tap
price
on the
tag?
face.
What's the
I don't know. I
price
didn't get to that part.
See that shit floating around the room while you sleep.
Yeah.
You know what? That's funny you say that, Herman, because it's almost like we're not far. We pretty much remember watching the Jetsons. You had the hovering cars, and you had the screen where you could put up a picture and it looked like you, and all of that. All of that stuff is happening now. So
No. When we all are in flying cars, I'm going with you to Hawaii. Nah, these dudes bust U-turns in the middle of the street when traffic is coming.
True.
Night train, 60 bucks. Hey, what's up,
I mean, you can make a car fly, but it's not going to be a good fly, a good flight.
Yo, Lawrence, these dudes out here bust U-turns in the middle of Flatbush Avenue. I don't want to be in flying cars around them.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Seriously.
It's a $200 lamp anyway.
Oh yeah,
Well,
they can keep it.
You know what's messed up about it? I go
I
to
can
fly
make
with,
something like that.
when I go to fly with Herman, or we go somewhere to hang out. The people that drive in Brooklyn, and Ray, you got to agree with this. Brooklyn is its own special borough when it comes to drivers. You got to agree with me on that. They're real special in Brooklyn, Paul.
Most people drive like they drive in dollar van, man.
Dude, they complain about Boston drivers.
Serious.
Every time I drive in New York, you pull up to a light, it turns red. They let two cars go through when it turns red.
Oh, that's it. That's everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy. You guys are nuts over there.
Where, in New York?
New York, yeah. Boston is like nothing. New York's madness. You guys are just insane, want to kill people.
We got more cars in Brooklyn than you got in the whole Boston, probably.
What happens is Boston, the people walking have rights. In New York, they don't.
Well, we do. But people walking across the street with their hand in their cell
Mr.
phone.
Crowley, I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Crowley, if you're walking too slow, someone will hit you and keep going.
Exactly.
The one I never understood was Queens Boulevard, though.
Hold on. Well, they slowed it down.
Stop that. You know that old lady was in the middle of the street and you ran through her.
No, you don't understand.
I do understand. You see her in the street.
Yes.
And you ran through her.
Yes.
That's true.
You gotta stop that. You can't even justify that.
Yo, Grand Concourse. Grand Concourse too.
Hold on.
Yeah. Paul, where they're talking about is called Queens Boulevard. It was called the Boulevard of Death.
You have to understand those.
What I gotta understand.
Russian Jewish ladies and all of them, they literally walk out into the middle of the road.
Just get that disclaimer going, Lawrence.
Yeah, real quick.
Because I've seen many
the
things.
Views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight. With that, I'll be right back.
Because I used to go over there because Gino lives over there by Queens Boulevard.
Yep.
You would drive, and they put up barriers in the middle of the road so people wouldn't walk through. People just walk out in the middle of the road, and they expect you to stop because they walk in the middle of the road.
But you
imagine if someone is drunk, they're not stopping. They just
when somebody's drunk. Look at this. Now we got a justification for the drunk driver.
Yeah, they were drunk.
You know what's going on Queens Boulevard, and everybody knows this.
Yeah. Of course, I hit the person. I was drunk.
it was too quick for some of the elderly people going across all of those intersections, or all those cross from the service road to the divider to the next divider to the next to get all the way over. They would get caught in the middle, and these drivers coming down this thing 60 miles an hour just mow these old people right down.
But well, here's what I want to know is where's Elliot at the time?
It is a helicopter down.
Well, probably crashing into something else.
Hey, listen, gentlemen, I'm getting close to the ranch, so I'm going to sign off. And,
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for
See you,
having me.
Mark.
Thanks for me. I'll keep you guys posted on how it goes next weekend.
Stay in touch, man.
Yeah, do
I
definitely.
get it, Justin. You got all kind of drunks out there.
Take care.
Drive safe.
Me personally, I hate driving over there because you can't.
What's up, Tom?
But now you can't even. I mean, you're not supposed to drive that fast because they dropped the speed limit and they got all those cameras all over the place. But I mean, people still.
Geek Savannah is in the house.
What's up, Sean? How are you, Sean?
I'm good. How is everybody?
Hanging in there, surviving.
We're waiting to hear you about your interview.
Yeah, I wanted you to mention a little. I know you put the link, but a little bit about what she was actually telling you about those drones.
Well, yeah, I mean, I spoke to probably before that interview, I spoke to probably 30 witnesses in inverted commas. After that, since that interview, I've probably spoken to another 80 or 90 people. And so far, she has been the singularly most genuine, in my opinion, reliable person. She is literally genuine middle America, hardworking American, just trying to get on with her life. And this thing happened. She's not, hence why I chose her. She comes across in a very genuine way.
Right. She seemed very, very sincere.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
when she was talking,
just
she
wants
was
answers.
very emotional.
Yeah, and she says in the interview she doesn't mind that they're drones. She thinks drones are great. She's no issue with drones whatsoever. She would just like to know what they're doing, if that's possible.
Right, because didn't she mention that it looks like they were searching for something, but when one actually broke off and came close to her house or something, what did she say? If you remember?
Yeah, I mean, they had 30 of them go over her house that she physically witnessed. Then there were more that went over when she went to bed. But there was one. The whole reason that they started looking for them is one of their neighboring ranches had one stop over a field, and what he thought was was a flash photography happened. My only issue with the people that are saying they're seeing them hovering is that
Thank you, nameless drone.
we all know that even when we look at a 747 passing in the sky, you could almost sometimes feel like it's stopped in the sky when it's so high up there. So I'm not sure whether the hovering thing. I've never seen any footage or anything of one of them hovering, and they seem to be V-wing drones, the ones that the sightings really from before Christmas, about 2.5 weeks before Christmas, running up until then just after the new year. After that, in my opinion, these drones stopped. And what they're now seeing and what's been reported through most of January is just general aviation, or of course there is a very large, especially in two of the areas where there are hotspots. There's a very large military presence anyway, a very large Air Force presence, and the Air Force is going to be flying all sorts of things up there.
Yeah, and so they were fixed wings, Sean?
Yes. Well, no.
Various ones seem to have the configuration of a fixed wing.
Well, there is a drone which is a very small version of the stealth bomber. I forget its coding name at the moment, and it literally looks like almost like a toy stealth bomber. Obviously, it's 6 foot wide, right. So it's still huge for a drone. We have positively identified some of the photos as those, but again, those are in areas where local Air Force bases are known to be testers within the unmanned aviation sector for the military. So it's not surprising that the latest drone would be flown somewhere around there and would be spotted, especially at night, because of course they're going to fly these things at night because they don't want, Mr. Local Chinese spy taking photographs during the day in high-res pictures of these new military drones they're flying. But they seem to be somewhere between that and the Merlin drone is really what are the reports we're getting. But most people are that were early on in the sightings seem to be very quick to distance themselves from seeing quads or multi-rotors to really hearing almost like a jet turbine type sound, and it being of a V shape with props as well. So a very different type of machine.
Well, she mentioned how she did also mentioned in the interview that the reason she would go outside her house is because it's so quiet, they can hear a truck
That's
miss
right.
gears at a
Yes.
distance away, so they would hear these propellers and drones coming
That's right.
in
Yeah,
a
indeed,
large number.
indeed. Yeah, indeed, and that a lot of the sort of hot zone, the hotspot for sightings in and around her in Colorado were the same thing, and that's why people noticed them. And those are the people I wanted to speak to. I didn't really want to speak to the people in January that they've heard all about this and they're getting in their car and
Right.
they're going looking for them, because
Right.
you will always find lights in the sky if you want to. You know, I could live stream now and convince you there's UFOs within 5 miles of my house. You know, it's
Exactly.
something's
But
happening.
No, they really are.
I do,
Yeah, that's right. That's because they really are.
well, I do know as a drone pilot, I can tell a drone from a distance at a pretty
yeah.
decent height. I can hear the pitch of the props and things like
Yes.
that. The fact that she's not drone related in any way and can say that they're honestly some type of drone.
That's
And
right.
the fact
And
that they're flying in formation.
yeah, no, indeed, and that's 2 points there that's interesting as well. One is I did get picked up on in the video a few times from my fellow droners as far as should they be identified as UFO. Well, actually, no. Because the sightings that we spoke to did identify them as drones. We just
That's
don't know
the
where they're
actual
coming
video
from.
there.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Lawrence. Yeah. So they're not UFO under the actual definition of UFO, because people are physically seeing them. And the problem is, a lot of people in Colorado have found out just how bad their iPhone cameras are when they thought they were amazing, of course, because these people are just basically putting their phones up to the sky hoping to capture these things. And
Well, now
they're left
it's
so
becoming
disappointed.
it's becoming a regular sight where people are literally going and hunting for these things.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that they don't care, because as the crowds get bigger, people are they're still flying, they're still doing whatever. But what I fail to believe is, out of all these people seeing all these drones, the FAA knows nothing and the military knows nothing.
In my opinion, when the national media picked up on this early in January, they stopped them. There's one news report from Fox 9 News that almost captures the drones perfectly, within maybe 200 feet above the. It was actually a reporter who went out with a local deputy to go and check up on reports, and they stopped the police car, jumped out of the cameras, and they had one fly over them at about 200 feet. And that's probably the best footage I've seen, full stop, of one, because you can just about make the shape out. You can hear that it's definitely a drone, that it's like a microlight sounding sort of noise to it, that you can tell that that's not a heavy aircraft with someone on board.
Right.
And of course, with the way the lights are reflecting, you can tell that it's not that high, that this is within a couple of hundred feet. But the swarm drone,
Newfoundland drone
sightings stopped after, I'd say, the first week of January.
If you notice,
photographing singular aircraft, which has got nothing to do with.
Well, I wanted to point out something that you mentioned vaguely, and that had to do with the fact that the story came up out of nowhere. And if you've noticed, the story has died down completely.
Yeah.
Any people that are reporting or complaining about, that are complaining about these drones is being pushed to the side. It's like muggings in New York. People get
there's an interesting story on that as well, actually, which is
what happened, Herman.
There's supposed to be something to cause mass hysteria about drones, more nonsense, so is that people would beg for more regulations.
But if they were going to do that, do it over a city, do it over, a suburban area in the middle of nowhere where you have a house every 5 to 10 miles. That looks like you're testing something.
Yeah.
And in between these 5 to 10 miles in these small towns are also the missile silos that are there, that we're supposed to have intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Anything flying within that close to a nuclear missile silo, and the USAF know exactly how big that crow is that just went over the fence towards that missile.
Now
site.
this is
Know everything.
something you have to take into account, Sean. If you get a location map of that area, you'll see that each missile silo has a perfect no-fly zone around it,
Yes.
and you can fly in these areas, but you have to stay away from these no-fly zones, which are total no-fly zones. You can't fly over them. You can fly around them, but you're not supposed to be able to go anywhere there. And these drones are flying a straight line over and past these silos like nothing. There seems to be a pattern that they're following. So are they testing drone technology? I don't think so.
Well,
are they testing anti-drone technology? Who knows?
In the video that that I put out, there was a lady from a company who actually sell the anti-drone tech to the Air Force,
Right.
and she confirmed, she wouldn't talk about these sightings themselves, but she confirmed that the Air Force base close in Colorado, which is the main place where I was looking, close to Denver, they, in her words, loved throwing everything they could at that base to test their anti-drone tech. Now, if they've now fitted this anti-drone tech across the silo sites, again, they're going to try and do that. And one thing that was interesting with them being in formation and then the directions and the flight paths they were taking is as if they were being controlled by one singular output.
Okay. Hold on one second, Sean. We're going into the second hour, and we got to do that drop, get it out of the way. So yes, Paul forgot to check his pulse.
He worried about a drink. That's why.
We're not doing any drops and shots, Paul.
Hello, everybody, get your shots.
Gotta be the
ready.
holiday.
Get
Where are you
your
at, Justin? He stepped away.
Get your shots ready.
All right, no dropping the shots, Mia. Stop instigating. All right. I muted myself. Sorry. Let's try that again. Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys. And we appreciate it ever so much. We appreciate all of you for hanging in here. We especially appreciate it, Sean, when you come over, because I did tell you this, so you can kind of confirm it. But I told them if those guys can afford it, we got to get Sean on our payroll, Herman, for drone news. That would be so great.
Every show he should come in for a few minutes and give drone news. I think that'd be great.
It's going to be a very busy year this year.
Put your link, Sean. Put your link. I know we. In fact, you know what? Everybody support each other. You know how to do it. You go to Roger's show. You go to these other streams. You go to Pusa Studios. Shout out to Andrew and his wifey. I can't get his wife's name out at any time. Ksenia. Shout out to the Pusa Studios, Andrew and Ksenia, and everybody else out there that does live streams. Philly Drone Life, I haven't seen him for a while. He's been getting up early in the morning. Him and Drone Bum.
Him and that Mavic Mini been going crazy.
What happened?
Him and that Mavic Mini been going crazy.
Hey, Sean, since you have your finger on the pulse of drone news, I thought I heard you say that this is going to be a very busy year for drone news.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be. There are regulation changes, which I think is going to dominate the landscape for the first 6 months. In July, all of our regulations in Europe change completely. And there's going to be, our version of the Part 107 is going to be disappearing and that type of thing. And you're going to have hobbyists flying for money over here. And there's going to be some very, very different types of drones coming out this year. From what we're seeing. But it's going to be very busy.
Well, maybe Geek Savannah, maybe you could add to Herman's thoughts about. He sees a lot of these new drone companies acting like a Ponzi scam. Send us your money now. Maybe we'll send you a drone.
Yeah. I mean, the 00 robotics one, the day they put their video up, I put a news story on our community tab warning everybody that they still had their previous drone in Kickstarter. And to be very, very, very cautious. If those things are delivered in February, I'll be very surprised. I'm glad
you said that.
I wish I had about $5,000 to get a Kickstarter up, because everyone seems to be starting out with a certain amount of money, and they come out with something that flies, or they use computer graphics to make it look like it works, and then they get all this money, and then all of a sudden they disappear. I mean, maybe I could get to Hawaii that way.
Their first drone worked well. The hover passport thing, it had limited use, but it did work. It was expensive. And the second one did sound like it was going to be good, but it just didn't come out. And then for them to suddenly, what annoyed me more than any of the stuff that annoyed me about the 00 at CES, about not flying, only hovering, all that sort of business.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
They brought the hover and the 2 new ones, but they didn't bring the one that's stuck in Kickstarter.
Well,
if it's that close to being released, it should have been there.
I'm gonna bring up a very valid point, and a lot of people have to think about this. Anybody and their mother could come up with a drone that flies, but to get that FCC and FAA license to sell it is a completely different story.
Exactly. Yes.
And when you have it, you have to comply with both of their requirements, right?
Hey, Mr. Crawley, light a match. You got to excuse us for chuckling. Mr. Crawley has a habit of typing things in on the panel chat, so you guys don't get to see it, but it's usually very interesting every time.
Yeah, I gotta get
hey, what's up,
Saigon?
Saigon? What's up, Saigon? Those of you who didn't know, Saigon actually went live last week sometime.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was like Saigon Drone Fix live, huh?
Yeah.
I was at work.
I saw him live. He did the Christmas window in New York on was it Macy's Saigon? It was one of them he did live a few weeks back.
Hold on, Curtis. Cool. Let me check. Let me just go.
Yeah, I'm out of here in a few minutes anyway, Curtis, so there'll be one slot opening up.
No problem, no problem. We appreciate you coming in, but if you find out any information, I would appreciate it if you'd either do a video so I could talk about it, or come on here and talk about it, because what happens is living here in the States doesn't always mean we get all of the news in the States that's going on.
Yes.
Here, you know, and unfortunately our news service here in the States, what they do is they literally, if it's not popular or getting their numbers go up, they won't talk about it, but for so long.
Yes, no, indeed.
Whereas
there's the sensational clicks. Yeah.
Right. Whereas you guys over there may see and hear stuff that's happening right here in New York. Perfect example, where I live here, my daughter was going to an elementary school down the block. He tells me, yo, how come they shut down your daughter's school? I heard there was a little kid came to school with a gun. Now, this is an elementary school. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He says, yeah, it's on the Facebook page. I'm like, how is it on the Facebook page? And I didn't hear about it. Make a long story short, I went outside. He lives 500 miles away from me. Okay, literally, it's a 5-hour drive. And I went outside, and parents were outside around the school. People were pulling up in the cars, and they had the school on lockdown. And they had just decided to release the kids. And they did not call any parents. They didn't notify anyone, nothing. I don't know. And they sent the kids home with a letter saying that there was an event today that happened, and they had to lock the school down. They didn't give a reason. News stations were out there, but here it is, right up the block from me. And I didn't even know. So
that's crazy.
If you get to hear any drone news that you don't hear us talking about, or something you want to bring up.
Yeah, Sean, before you go, I got one question. I know that the EU is changing all the drone laws. Do you find it becoming more like what the FAA is proposing here, more or less than the FAA?
No. The FAA and what's called EASA. So basically, we have the CAA, and France has their version, Ireland, etc. But above all of those is what's called EASA, the European Aviation Safety Agency, and they are now basically becoming bigger and bigger, much more like an FAA across the member states, across the member countries. And it's EASA's rules that are coming in July. EASA and the FAA are actually on collision course at the moment, because they both want to integrate remote ID in very, very different ways. The problem is, for Amazon and everybody else like that, they only want one system across the whole of the Western world. because of course they don't want to have different types of drones on a different system flying in Europe as to Americans, because
Right.
that costs more money.
Right.
They're actually likening it to the VHS beta, or beta, however you say
beta,
it over
beta.
there, wars, as it were, as to see who will win that battle. I do have a video coming out on that next week about that particular aspect of it, how the two agencies are duking it out to see who wins that particular battle. But it's going to be very different here from July onwards, and there's going to be a few more qualifications, but it means there'll be a qualification. At the moment, we can only go up to 50 meters of people and 150 meters of congested areas as a hobbyist, but there will be a fairly simple exam we can take, which will actually, with the right drone, which has a low speed mode, we're going to be able to get within 5 meters of uninvolved people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of it that's going to help. We're also going to be able to fly. We're also going to be able to fly our drone in any country in Europe under the same drone laws. So I can literally catch a train to France, get off the train, fly my drone.
I was wondering about
go through to Germany, do the same thing, and I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. So yeah, it's going to be very different. The remote ID, it actually does come in for us in July. Technically, it's basically all of our drones that are sold from July 2022 have to have essentially like the DJI version that they have now, where they can send the signal out, giving your pilot ID, your location, that type of thing to authorities, not just to the public as the DJI app was. So we have it coming in. It's law from July this year, but manufacturers have until 2022 to release that. And as Mia's saying, yes, Mia, that's it. The CFC, the A2 CFC qualification. And I'm going to be one of the first people on that course, actually. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you have any sense at all?
Keep us posted.
Since we're talking about the beta versus VHS, which way? Who's winning, or is it pretty much?
I think the FAA are winning only because of NASA. NASA are developing the American UTM, the Unified Air Traffic System, and they are extremely advanced. As you all know, they're testing it in North Carolina and different places, etc.
Right.
Lots of beyond visual line tests. There's the corridor that's opening up in New York State to test it as well. So they are quite far advanced. In my opinion, and this is only an opinion based on many hours of reading, nothing more. I believe the FAA have released this proposal to scare everybody, and what they will then next release is a proposal that actually people would have hated to begin with, but in comparison to the current, everyone will be like, "Yes, please, I'll have that."
Okay,
they'll be clamoring for it.
But I can understand that. Yes, that would make sense, because this proposal that they put forth first is so ridiculous that once they dummy it down, you'll be begging for it.
Yeah,
well, companies are actually going to shut down because of this. Like these, like FPV drones. Most of that's shut down.
I mean, either way, the FPV
flew.
hobby is and the RC hobby are, I don't want to swear, but they're bleep at the moment. They really they're going down a very dark road at the moment for the FPV and for the general RC model hobby, and that's shocking, because that's two groups of our wonderful general wider hobby that have done nothing wrong at all. The incursions, the issues, you never hear of, oh, there was a model airplane flew at my Cessna or something, or came close to my helicopter, or
that's
those hobbies that are being so punished. And FPV, a guy flying in a park, our regulations coming in July pretty much
Justin,
they don't outlaw FPV, but they make it very, very difficult.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, I have a question for you.
Yes,
where'd you get that drone sign? That light?
These are sorry, it's a little bit blared out at the moment. It's clearer on my videos with the 4K camera, but
that's pretty cool.
It's Amazon. It's just the individual letters,
and then you plug them in.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
It's USB fed around the back of the screen, but I just wanted something different in the background.
Can you change the color of it?
That says Zeus.
These ones are fixed only because I wanted the fixed color, only because I wanted to go for the retro neon looking type. But they're actually, they've got like a plastic case
Yeah.
And then the glow they give makes them look neon more than them being neon. But yeah, they're
That is interesting. That is interesting. And one last thing, I saw your trailer.
Yeah, right.
I saw your trailer
Did
for your
you?
channel. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Geeksvana.
Yeah, I'm an avid watcher of TikTok, and one of the comedians on there, young lady called Libby Marie, she's very funny. Her facial expressions make me laugh an awful lot. She's very expressive, and she does little comedy sketches on there. And we just had a chat with her and wanted to do a collaboration and just have a little bit of fun with it.
That was cool. That was cool that
It's something
did
different. Yeah, it's something different, and she's a very talented lady. We gave her a general idea of what we wanted, and then let her come up with the content itself.
Okay.
I was cracking up when you're eating the potato chip.
Yeah.
Or the cracker or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I was even hunched down with my little belly stuck out and everything, like exactly how I eat potato chips.
Well, you got to use the belly to catch the pieces that fall.
Absolutely. It's an essential.
I have one of those.
The Lord gave you a shelf, you got to use it.
Right. I have one of those. I'm not ashamed of it. It's called a dad bod.
Okay.
But yeah, I wasn't sure the reaction we get to
We
it.
appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us, you and your cat.
Yeah, indeed, right?
John, you need to come here more often and give us the updates.
Have you come to tell us the drone news?
Yeah.
Yeah, see her eyes. It looks on here. It looks like her eyes are the same color as the lights.
Yeah, they are actually very similar. Very
Okay.
close to it, yeah. But she gets to do. I don't normally let my cats up on here, especially when I'm streaming. But she's 19, so she gets to do what she wants.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's OG.
She rules the house.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. It was really great to speak to you all. And
Not a problem,
and thanks
man.
for
We
chatting
always
about it.
appreciate when you come in.
Yep.
Beautiful. Hashtag those guys.
We'll see ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you, brother.
Bye.
Now, see, get an accentuated mention about the lights there. What is the thermocouple? Did you say you're having a problem with your boiler, Justin?
That's why I says either the thermocouple, if it's a thermocouple, or it could be an igniter if it's not staying lit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I changed like maybe like 100 of those already this year.
Oh, so by the end of the live stream, they should be about almost done or close to it. You're hoping?
Know what happens with these thermocouples? They don't make them like they used to no more. So in the summertime, if you don't turn the thermocouple off, it just burning all summer long for the boiler, and you don't even need it unless your boiler is a unit boiler and hot water tank. If it's just a boiler for the heat, I'll turn that pilot off. That thermocouple will last you a couple of years instead of every couple of years, every year. I'll be feeling bad every year. I just went to this lady's house last week, and I did the same thing last year. But it's not me.
Some people you can't tell them. Like we have a switch to cut off for the heat, right? You just pull that switch, and that boiler. You don't need the boiler for your heater on.
Right.
I mean, you don't need the pilot light on for your heat. You're going through the summer.
Right.
Why should you have that pilot? Why should you have that pilot going?
Turn it off.
Constantly. Yep. But you can't tell some people some things. So, like you said, you just put in one for last year, right?
Get one last week for it too. 125 hours.
And there you go. And I'm mad at you.
I did 12 of those in one. I did 12 of those in one day, and out of 12 of them, it probably took me like 2 hours.
Okay. Also, I wanted to mention something. Remember that job that I did, Ray? I was telling you about setting the guy up on a live stream. Ryan LaTourette, who is the one of the representatives that are trying to get, if not all of the states, majority of them, on this list as being pro-drone and having drone advocates for their individual states. Well, at some time and point, he's going to be doing a live stream. And when he does, I'm going to blast it on here because it hopefully, if it goes right, he didn't go into too much detail because he couldn't, but I helped him set up. He's supposed to be doing a test, and hopefully he'll be doing a live stream on YouTube, totally drone related, with guests on advocates for the drone community and he wants to blast it on 40 different Facebook links.
Wow, that's crazy.
So when the time comes and he's ready to do this and launch, I will be promoting him. He's right now he's the biggest advocate I know for the drone community on the user end. I
On
should
the East
say.
Coast side, you're saying.
On the user end, right? If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even. I know. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even know. Hey, Curtis.
What's up, Curtis?
Jack,
guys?
I wouldn't even know what was going on in the Midwest with that case, because the news made it hush hush. If you remember, they were quick to report that he got arrested and the cops took his drone. They were quick to report that, but they were slow to say, well, he's suing us. And there's very good chance that we might not win because we actually invaded his privacy by arresting him and taking his stuff. So hopefully he'll be doing brief live streams on the situation. And I told him I want those guys, because no one else is stepping up to the table and saying it, or no one else is trying to find out any information. But I told him I want those guys to be some type of New York City advocate, and anyone who wants to help us be an advocate for the state of New York. Because right now there's only 18 states. I think, I don't remember the numbers. Don't quote me on it. But I think there's 16 to 18 states that are pro-drone and have advocates that represent their states and actually communicate with congressmen and do what they have to see what's happening with local drone laws within their state. And I feel it's very important, especially in New York. How many people fly here in New York. And to have so many drone pilots here in New York, and not one of you, I almost said a bad word, not one of you guys step up and say, hey, what can we do to keep this hobby? I think it's kind of messed up.
Hey, Lawrence, Geek Savannah made a comment and I commented back. He says, sorry about taking up so much time. Thanks for having me. And I said, no, you made the conversation.
No, he did make the conversation because there were a few people that commented on Nameless Droner. He gave a super chat because of the content.
Yeah.
That you were
that's why I didn't want to come in, because he was doing a really good job.
No, you could have. That wouldn't have been a problem. But Geeks, Vanna, Sean, we appreciate you anytime. I told you anytime that you want to come in or have something to say, you were more than welcome. Okay, so
just don't try to share anything.
No. I have to find out who's driving the Massachusetts power.
I didn't. I turned it off. What it is, I found out if I turn it off before a live stream, I cannot turn it back on during a live stream.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
I got the hint. I understand.
I do have an update for something you guys were talking about on the Wednesday show with Herman. Herman was talking about chasing innovations in the new sub that's coming out, and you guys are interested in that. They are having some major financial problems. They just fired the entire USA staff.
Whoa.
Every one of them. They're all fired.
That's because they're trying to make back the money they spent at CES on that damn thing.
Well, that was kind of a
Curtis,
cheesy thing to do that they did. Also, they had CES, and they invited everybody out, all the employees, plus they invited some of my team out there. And at the end of it, that's when they fired them.
Wow!
Well,
check this out.
Yeah,
you're familiar. Hold on, Mr. Crawley. You guys are familiar with Macy's? 34th Street Macy's.
Right.
Well, I worked at Brooklyn, and this Macy's, Herman, and in Kings Plaza. I worked there, worked my way up from a shoe salesman to a department manager. Okay. They said an event's coming up where we promote all of our managers, and we have this big dinner at the 34th Street Macy's. Well, I went to this dinner and they fed us good and we ate and drank, and they gave at the end of the event, they said, oh, promotion, this person promoted the manager in this store, this district, blah, 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 blah. These are our new managers. They salute them. To make a long story short, at the end of the night, they gave us all a check for 6 months and said, we no longer need you. Okay. So
wow.
I know how it goes. Trust me, they promoted me to manager, gave us a nice dinner, fed us, paid us, and said, okay, bye. And now that now that I've worked in other retail stores, I understand what they did. Because for each and every one of us that they let us go, the big guy that was up above everyone else gets that extra money that's not going to be spent for that time frame.
We had a guy, well, my supervisor, when I managed a biomedical company, my manager, we got called into an office one day and we're both like, all right, well, this isn't good. They hand us both huge bonuses, cash bonus, not cash, but check bonuses, like a lot of money. And he got like $5,000 more than me. I was always like, why do you get $5,000 more than me? We go back to the office. Within 2 hours, they call him back to the office. And he comes back and he's clearing off his desk. I'm like, what'd they do? He goes, they fired me. And I thought he was joking around with me. And I go, oh, good, it's about time, you know, and I walk out. And I come back in, he's got all his stuff back. I'm like, you serious? He's like, yeah, they just fired me. So
well,
I'm like,
that's the world of retail, because I found out my last job before I was diagnosed with COPD and stuff like that, and I couldn't work anymore. But my last job, the manager, what I used to do was I used to go to, I was a store opener. I opened Bed Bath and Beyond's, Michael's, and what I would do is I would go into the receiving department, and everything that comes into that store, well, I would accept into the store. After they have the shelves set up in the aisles, make sure everything went out to the store. I would receive everything for the store before they had a soft opening and then a grand opening. And at the same time, teach the person how to receive merchandise. And after working at Michael's and seeing how they did, I stayed in one store and stayed at the Michael's because it was close to home, and wind up becoming their receiver. And to make a long story short, with Michael's, I reached the top of their pay scale. The top of their pay scale, which is a joke now living in New York, was $13.75. Okay. Minimum wage now is 15, but back then, and this was over 8 years ago. Okay. You know what they told me? We can't give you any more money because you're at the top of the pay scale, but what we will do is give you 1 week's pay. And I said, you know what? You need to get somebody in here so I can show them how to run receiving, because I'm not going to take a week's pay and keep making $13.75. And I'm receiving every 2 weeks, $22 million worth of your merchandise.
right.
And I said, so they were like, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, check this out. Here's something for you. I'm going to go out on the floor. And they said, well, you know, you can't go out on the floor as a manager. And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. I said, well, you can't take my money away either. I was making $13.50. So after they put me on the floor, they made me a department manager on one side of the store, seasonal department, and they were able to give me more money. But I literally refused to stay in that position for that. And if you do not say anything, they won't say nothing. Yep. Seriously, companies, retail, and they don't play around when it comes to stuff like that. I see a lot of people get raises, and then shortly after they get a raise, they get fired. And you know where that extra money goes? To the manager.
Yeah, it just goes back to the bar. It just goes back to the company. It's all
president. That president get that.
Well, in the store, look at it this way. When you're a general manager in a store, you have a salary, say $100,000. Now it's your job as a store manager to save as much of that $100,000 as you can, because if you do and you don't give people raises, somebody may ask for $1. You don't give them $1, you give them 23 cents. You know why? Because the balance of that will go to you at the end of the year.
We used to have to come up with double your salary in cost savings. So you had to do a
stop it with the snow.
I'm sending that to you, Lawrence.
Listen, by the time it gets across the lake, Paul, it's already water.
Always got some snow. Look how you got some blacktop out there too, though.
Yeah.
So the end of the story is I spoke with the owner, the CEO of Chasing today. He called me and we talked for quite a bit. The Chasing M2 is going to be released. They don't have the money to develop accessories for it, and they're looking for third-party vendors to develop accessories. They have a mounting point.
Whoa.
So for those of you that are enterprise,
once again, they sound like they pulled a Skydio too.
For those of you that are enterprise adventurous and like to create businesses, there's an opportunity because you can get the SDK for it and develop other technology that can be used with the Chasing M2. So if you want to develop an arm or sonar or anything like that, it has mounting points on it.
Yeah, Lawrence, go to the bank and pull out about 10 million so you can be an enterprise.
Paul, I keep telling you, when you hear I brought that Matrix 3,
Yeah.
and I'm moving to Hawaii, I'll
Yep.
be able to do that.
He wants a Matrice 3 and he
It
wants
don't
to
take 10 million to
Hawaii.
develop stuff.
Yep.
No.
Well, all I can say is for that's a real stupid move, because for a company to go to an event like CES, seriously, to go to a company like CES and then have to do something like that, you just shot your whole load. What's up, Mikey? Hey, Mikey, you got time to come in here, you bum?
I don't know how many people actually.
Hold on, I'm sending you an invite anyway. I don't care.
Well, I just want to add, I noticed that Ray was talking about getting one when he was going down south there. And I'm going to tell you, Ray, it's one of the best ones on the market, period. As far as lateral movement, nobody else does lateral movement in the water like that drone does.
That's the yellow one, right?
Yeah, well, they're all yellow.
They're yellow and black, but this one can actually walk in the water.
Yeah, I saw that.
Here, the last one I talked about it last week, Lawrence. This one is very nice. It can walk upright and it move 8 positions with these motors and take it to 8 different positions.
It's called vectored thrust.
It's something.
That's a nice cable. That cable that line is what it was like.
It looks like
a mile long.
The Gladiator.
It's 100 meters, so it's good down to 300 feet.
300 feet. Okay.
Below 300 feet,
Drone
the pressure.
Bum and Philly Drone Life. I sent you guys invites to come on in.
Below 300 feet, you're talking about an implosion. It's just the water pressure is too much. It'll crush it. Anything that goes down below.
All right, Mr. Crawley, have a good one.
I mean, like talking about the distance of the cable. Like, so even that.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Curtis, Curtis, does it hover as good as I do over the toilet?
All right. On that
in a public restroom, is that it?
Guys,
See, this is why you guys started talking about breast milk, because of comments like, see, that's right, Ray. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right, Ray.
That's a timeout. That means you gotta go timeout.
Is this time? Get a drop, Lawrence. Get a drop.
Okay, this is time for a drop. Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those Guys.
Yeah.
I gotta laugh at Paul.
And Paul.
And Paul.
Guys, be good.
Later, Mr. Crowley.
All right, Mr. Crowley. Have a good one, brother.
You too.
Thanks for coming in. Hey, Saigon says he worked his behind off for 17 years at DHL. And what do you get? What I get? A buy-hour packet. Listen, I understand. I totally understand retail. And I used to love retail for the simple reason. When I first got into retail, I was like Al Bundy, the shoe salesman. But when you kind of grind your way up from the bottom to like semi somewhere, and you see all the work pays off, and you have customers that only come to you and stuff. Rojo, I sent you an invite long time ago, brother.
So you had a bad high school football career that left you with 2 kids and a wife?
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
Just the shoe salesman part. He got jokes. No, I didn't have a son called Grandmaster B. If you remember that from hey Roger, what's up? If you remember that from
Hey, Roger Rojo,
from the Bundy, from Married with Children, which by the way, it shows you how twisted I am mentally. That was actually a great show. For those of you who used to watch it, you'd have to understand. You'd have to sell shoes to understand, truly.
I'm old enough to remember that show.
Old enough?
Yeah.
To remember it. Big Matt, what's good? What's going on? Big Matt just came in from flying. Okay.
I was flying all
Philly
day.
Drone Life, what's good, man? If you're still out there, I sent you an invite. I sent Drone Bum an invite. If you want to come in, Rojo, I already sent you one long time ago before I started the live stream. Same thing with you, Roger. I try not to go and straight out of old school Love and Marriage. That's right, Corey. That was a funny show at one time and point. Either that or I just, because I sold shoes, I could relate to it. Justin,
everything that's wrong with a middle-aged man.
Justin,
Yo,
when you getting that bird, man?
I'm assuming like 2-3 weeks, maybe.
Let me know. I want you to put
But
it together.
what happened? Because I sent you the video and I was like, dude, this is for that.
You know what? I put it in watch later, and then it came up and recommended. I clicked on it. I'm like, oh shit, I got to show Justin. And come to find out, it was the same one you sent me.
Yep.
Still nice and clean. 20
Nice and
weeks
clean.
20
Dude.
weeks of rain.
Dude, I'm gonna show you something here. The guy says, why don't you clean your bird? I said, I'm not cleaning it. You know what that is? That's experience.
That's right. No, we're now on 20 weeks of straight rain.
Well,
Anybody that's familiar with the area up here, all of our rivers feed straight down from the mountains, where the mountains are within an hour of Puget Sound. So
yeah.
the rivers really should not swell at all, but we now have swelling rivers. They're overflowing the banks. It's rained that much.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah.
Curtis, I know you're interested in the DJI system. Did you see where Catchulator Katrina went out and bought the whole system plus 3 units for 3 different drones?
I saw
And
that.
how much did that cost?
She's sponsored, so she got a deal. So Canadian, I think she paid about $1,500, but she would have paid $2,000.
You know what? It must be nice. And I used to experience this when I used to do internet radio a while back. And it's easier for a female to get sponsored for something than it is for a guy. I mean, for a
Well,
guy to
she's
get
doing
sponsored for-
her own show, and she's got a really good thing going, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
She's
I
got
know.
she's
And
got a nice following.
contacting-
So
But see, what she's doing is she's advancing. She's not spinning her tires in the same spot. And that's what I appreciate about her, because she came in, she said, this is me, this is what I do, this is what my plans are, and she's making these things happen. Oh my God.
There he is.
It's Walking Man.
Oh wait, I got the wrong view. There I go.
well, there
It's
goes the
Running
show.
Man.
No, I'm exhausted, guys. I'm gonna be quiet tonight. But thank you so much for letting me come in. Thank you, man. I miss you guys. It's been so long.
Hey, Global Drone, how are you?
I'm finally up. I finally woke up and able to see you, man.
Is it
Hey,
cold
check
there?
this
It's snowing?
out, guys. Hold
Um,
on, check this out. I just said hello, Global Drones, and guess who woke up? Google
Who?
says thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I didn't ask the computer how she was doing. I was saying, "What's up, Global Drones?" And apparently she woke up.
Well,
Let me say Google.
your wife has now assigned the computer to be following and keeping an eye on you.
I'm not worried about it. I'm perfectly good, Paul.
She wants to make sure that everything's going good with Lauren.
Listen, check this out. I know where she hides her packages. She knows where I hide mine.
So,
All right?
since we're talking about drones, does anybody want to talk about the orange pumpkin?
The one that they're not shipping yet?
Yeah, Mikey.
I was looking at Ray for a response from Ray, actually.
You know me, I'm just lurking in the cut. I already know what's happening.
I did get
Hey,
hold
what's
of
up,
the
Bull Rider? What's
I
up,
did-
Jay Merce? Jay Merce, how are you, brother?
I did get hold of the footage from Original Dobo, and I also got the footage from Tom's Tech Time.
Well,
and
I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to tell you, I've seen a few videos, and most of the videos.
Let them finish
that
though.
are
Let
on-
them finish. Let me see what you're gonna say. What's the
ahead.
next one?
well, what I was going to say was, of the 2 footage, Original Dobo has his sharpening a little too sharp to do any sort of real color correction, in my opinion. Now, of course, if you ask him, this is color correction. There is the science of color correction, and then there's what you like, what appeals to you. And the footage that he provided was a little too sharp for my like. I like to add sharpening in post, and I think
Let's just say it. It's crap.
Tom's Tech Time, on the other hand, provided some very slow moving shots, very undefined
Agreed, Aldiaz.
images. So it really didn't leave a lot of room to kind of play around with something. But also, Original Dobo did some really nice stuff as far as tracking the helicopter and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool that he did that.
Well,
I have dual graphic cards on the computer that I use. So even my computer with dual graphic cards, running them on the graphic cards, not the CPU.
Hey Ray, Jay Merce, Bull Rider said something to you.
I had
What's
to
up,
run
Jay?
proxies on that
What you
8K
say?
footage as well.
Well, I'm gonna say I did see one video. The guy Flypath, he did a review, and he did a review in 4K at 30 frames, and he did one for the Mavic. He
I know the
used
one
the
you're talking
Mavic
about.
2 Pro, the
And
Mavic
that was
2
the one I
Pro, the
posted in
Mavic
those
Zoom,
guys.
right? The Mavic Zoom, and he used the Autel 8K. And he shot them all at 4K and 30. And I must say, from what he showed in the video, the 8K cut down to 4K at 30 was real muddy.
Yep.
Yeah, it looked purple. It looked purple.
It was
It was
very
a soft
muddy,
image. I agree. And that
it
was
was
from
very
my first
muddy, and it
opinions of
wasn't
it.
as sharp.
And
Now,
for
my
all that
problem-
work, why? Well, who wants to do all that?
But hold
Exactly.
on. But hold
right,
on.
but
If you
how
take,
about Dave from Joan Valley though? You check
but
that one
hold
from
on.
Joan
If
Valley?
you take a camera that can shoot in 8K and you reduce it down to 4K at 30, that picture should be immaculate.
Correct.
Yep. And
Okay.
It looks crappy.
And the fact that that picture was muddy at a lower resolution makes me wonder if this camera is only geared for 8K at 24. And they didn't
check
give
it
a
out.
damn. And they didn't give a damn about the lower settings.
Right. The guy from Joan Valley, he put up a 8K and a 4K. Yo, even with the fast computer at my job, it took 2.5 hours to download that 8K.
that's crazy.
So who's really going to be sitting at their computer to be putting out video? I don't care if you YouTube genius. Who's going to spend that time and not get no bread off of that?
Hey,
Well,
Ray,
I said-
you can't sit there and eat that many pumpkin seeds.
No,
can
you
you?
can't eat that many brownies either. Not that many brownies.
Well, I also spoke to
All
some of the
pumpkin
guys at
seeds.
NBC and stuff, and they were saying that, you know,
Great.
broadcast is done at 1080p.
Yep.
So if you have a Mavic Pro or a Mavic Pro 2 or a Phantom 4, any one of those series, there's
Great.
absolutely no reason to get the Autel 8K unless you just have an issue with not being able to take off somewhere.
Well,
Now,
here's
I'm not
my
going to say
issue.
I'm not going to say that
Yeah,
about
but
the
hold
6K
on.
yet.
But that's not even that. They're not even talking about that, Curtis. So
No, they don't.
They're not even talking whether they're going to put that chip in there or not. That's why they ain't shipping, because
Right,
they need
now-
to put that chip in.
Now, here's something else to bring up. You have a 6K camera coming out. You have an 8K camera coming out, correct? How come none of the features in these cameras, they play 4K at 25, they play 4K at 30, they play 4K at 60? How come none of these cameras have 4K at 120? Ask me that. And until I found out that little small feature, that I'm disinterested. Because if it's shooting 6K and it's shooting 8K, 4K at 120
Well, in
should
order
be the
for that
next
thing to
step
shoot
up.
8K 120, that processor, that drone
No,
will burn
4K,
up.
4K.
Yeah, it's
4K.
it's a
That,
heat
that
it's a
drone
heat
will
issue.
burn up. That's a heat issue. That's why they can't do it. I don't care what they telling people. You can't do it. Putting that big battery in on is just
So
the
then,
power on them extra
basically,
sensors and everything. It's ludicrous,
they're
bro. Like
wasting my time. They're
they're
wasting
wasting
my time.
everybody's time.
I don't
Because
care about.
everybody, listen, how you gonna crop or go from 8K to 4K and still don't look nowhere near the
It's
Phantom
all
4
about the
Pro
numbers.
or-
It's all-
Right back.
It's all about
Yeah.
the numbers. All they're doing is creating something, putting these big numbers on it, and everybody's going, "Oh my God,
Mikey,
yeah,
Mikey,
they're
Mikey,
gonna be
Mikey.
duping in a minute.
Hold on,
Sorry.
Mike, Philly Drone Life. You're 100% right. Do you remember how we went ape shit when 1080 HD came out?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
You
Or
remember how we
4K.
went and
Oh my God, it's
and it
4K.
wasn't true 1080, but we thought it was bad, didn't we?
Yeah. It's the same thing.
And-
Nobody's going to use it. I mean, what I care about, guys, this is the most important thing, and you don't hear about it. Number one, they need to start talking about, is the drone still not tracked? Are we still doing the Autel Evo like it's supposed to be, like it's known for? That's number one. And number two is, what's up with the transmission, the quality? How far can we go in a city? What's all that about? Because if you can't see, you can't fly. That's
True.
important. That's the important stuff. Not 30K cameras. You can't use them. It's wonderful to have them numbers.
Yeah,
But
30K.
you can't use it. What good is it? I agree with Ray.
exactly.
Who the hell's
telling you,
going to
man.
process that?
It's not even worth it, bro. And first of
well,
all,
my final
actually, what
assessment
they've
is
done-
the people are hobbyist droners. They're not making money off it. So you're gonna sit around and waste all that time to post YouTube and Facebook videos? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Are you
It's
really
definitely
kidding me?
not
Like,
for
come on,
any of
man.
us. I can tell you that
No.
the 8K
Well, I'm
Now
going to
ratings
tell
are
you
pretty
right
bad.
now.
The fire
The-
department is going to buy the third one for the thermal camera. I already know they put an order in for the
But
fire
Ray-
department, and theirs coming out sooner than anybody's drones
But
coming
Ray,
out.
the only ones right now that can process 8 to 12K is Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
They're the
Right.
only ones right now. So
Right.
you can
Well,
buy
Amazon.
all the hotels you want. You
Amazon.
can
Yeah,
buy
with the
all of,
Amazon
you
movies.
can buy all
Yeah.
of the what is that new one that other one they came out with that didn't have good distance. X Dynamics. You can
Mhm.
buy all of these drones, but you
This is
can't
not
see it.
bashing
They
them. It's
can't
just
see
like
it. And in order to
we're
fly,
smarter than them. We're
in order
smarter
to
than the
have these
average Joe.
drones,
Everybody is.
you're
Well,
gonna
I
have to get
can
a
tell you
whole new
guys that
computer
Amazon's
system.
coming out with a new feature, and I only know this because I'm a member at Adobe, but they are coming out with their rendering service for people where you can upload your files, which is
To
ridiculous.
charge you more
because-
money.
To charge you more money, yes. But for guys that want to do stuff with 8K, they can upload the videos. They'll create proxies for you. You do all your production in Premiere and then send the Premiere file, and they render it for you in like 30 seconds.
You want to know what? 8K is fine, 6K is fine, but none of it means jack when everybody else can see 1080.
Yeah, Curtis, my question would be if they were sending back the rendering at 8K, what kind of a computer you got to have to take that back again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
They'll
Yeah.
buy a computer.
I
to
totally
have a drone,
get
buy a
it.
computer.
Good point.
Like I
Sorry,
said,
man.
I have dual graphic cards. I should be able to just watch, and I can watch. I can't watch it in Premiere
Yeah.
straight,
You
but I can
guys
watch it
support
just
each
on my
other's
computer.
channels.
They really
That's
must.
all I'm saying about the whole thing. Okay, it might be a great drone. It got all these features, but you're not telling the public the things
Yes.
they're gonna need to run that footage that they're recording. That is the number one key. And the no restrictions. It's not gonna happen. FCC is not allowing it. They're not
Correct.
allowing it. They're
That's
not
right.
allowing DJI to do it. They're not gonna allow them to do it. And when they come out with it, if they try, I bet they pull all those drones back. Or before the final print is up, they want to see the software firmware that is in there.
That's why they're not releasing them. If you give,
Nope.
that's why everybody's doing
They duped the
pre-orders.
people.
You give them their
Duped the
$100 and you ain't getting your drone for
Listen,
another
right
months.
You get your
now,
$100 back.
Mikey, you're
Yeah.
right. Right now, they're doing like Michael Jackson. They're moon stepping backwards.
That's all they're doing. That's all
You know what?
they're
And
doing.
they messed up by
They're
coming out so soon.
moonwalking
Like I said,
backwards
they
because
showed their ace card, and DJI is laughing at them right now. You
Yeah.
can't even come out with the drone.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm coming out with a Matrice 300. I
Yeah.
just came out with a Mavic Mini, and I'm coming out with something else, and I'm
possibly a
coming out with something else.
Mavic 3
All
or-
those things are going to stop
equivalent.
sales for them. All those things are going to stop sales for them because DJI drones are going to sell.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a
Absolutely.
good analogy you made, by the way, Ray, the other day about a poker player.
Oh yeah, that's what they do. I'm telling you, man, it's a
Yep.
Ponzi scheme, and DJI had those people sitting there and said, "I poker."
Oh, we lost them.
We lost
Well,
him.
Diaz, I agree with you.
But it's good though. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just want to see the footage. Anybody who gets it that I know, I want to see what they do. I want to see their review because these other guys are being paid, and I don't trust them.
Yeah,
Right?
same here.
So
Well,
I
see,
want to see the
I
guys that
agree
I
with
know.
you.
If you got
I
it,
agree,
I'm
Ray.
100%, yo, good shit, man. But until you somebody that's next to me, nah, I don't want to
The
know.
common, you want to see the common folk take the camera and what they
Yeah.
can do with it.
And we all
And
doing
I
the
wanna
same
hear
thing.
about
We
the
all see
drone.
the same thing.
Because
We
if
just
they
wanna
want
see
to,
what you do.
but if they want to keep getting these drones and reviewing them, you better say something good.
Yeah.
And
Plain
let's
and
my-
simple.
and Lawrence, let's face it. I mean, they're flying these things in the middle of freaking nowhere. Go to a city. I mean, and when I mentioned that,
Mike, I want to
Yeah,
scream
not
that
gonna
so
do it.
freaking bad. You
Yeah.
talk about how far you could go. You talk about signal strength. Try flying that sucker from here to there in New York or
well,
Philadelphia.
somebody commented to me on one of them big channels. I don't want to mention his name because it started a big thing. But he's like, oh, and his boys started with me and going, well, what is he supposed to post? You know, he's got 100,000 subscribers, 80,000 subscribers. What is he supposed to take his drone in the middle of a city and fly over cars and people? I said, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do what everybody
yes.
else said. Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
come on. He's only going
Mikey, 1 second. The views and opinions that are heard tonight
Yeah.
are not necessarily the
Yeah.
views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight.
Hey, Justin, real quick, that link you threw down, how much is that computer?
Justin always putting up some shit in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. You call him Captain Micro Center.
Mhm.
The Micro Center. He lives on Micro Center. I
But
think he
again,
has
you could have all the computers. They're out there, but for what? If you're not making money off their footage, why spend 10 hours?
You're
to do one footage?
100% right.
That's my point. You can they're making the computers. I know that the graphics cards are
Listen,
there.
I'm going to
Just
tell
for
you.
a guy to hang out on Far Rockaway and Red Hook. Oh yeah, I don't think so.
Hey Ray, you want to hear something funny, Ray?
Yes,
You want to
sir.
hear something real funny? I had a guy come to me. He sees I fly drones. I give him my card and everything, you know. And he's like, "Well, I do music videos." And I go, "Oh God, here we go." And I said, so he goes, "Well, I have a guy. He shoots all my videos for me. They're clean, they're sharp, they're crisp." I'm like, "Well, what format does he shoot it in?" He's like, "Format. What's that?" So I go, "Well, ask your camera guy. What does he save his video in? 1080? Does he save his video in 4K?" So he comes back to me and says, "The guy, yeah, he saves it in 4K." So to make a long story short, I go and I do a little job for him. It's just him in a car going down the street. I use course lock.
Okay.
Oh,
going
yeah,
down
I
the
never
street
used that
and
shit.
going down the street, and I'm looking at him while he's rapping out the window like this to the music, right?
Awesome.
I get my money. I give him his footage. He goes, "Yo, what kind of camera is that?" And this was with my Phantom 4 standard. He goes, "What kind of camera was that? Because your stuff looks 1,000 times better than my camera guy." Come to find out, the camera guy was telling him that he was doing it in 4K and it was 1080 super.
Oh man! Wow.
So when I gave him the 4K footage, it made his stuff look like, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, it made it.
And that's all you need. Let's face it, guys. I mean, even that's overkill.
Yeah,
but
for us,
but
yeah.
That's not a
all
bad
you
price,
need.
Justin, actually.
Yeah, it's a nice price. Yeah, definitely.
Tell him
my
Justin sent you.
point in saying that, I'm not against any new drones coming out.
Nah, not at all.
And for any company that wants to try and advance, but I'm gonna
Don't
tell
lie.
you one thing: don't
lie to
poke
me.
the bear if you ain't ready to get bit.
Yeah, don't lie to me, right?
Right,
Because-
Mikey?
I feel the same way. Just like you guys said. Don't lie to me. Freaking tell
Yeah,
me.
don't lie to me.
Tell me the whole truth. Don't take my $100.
Don't poke
So
the
let me ask you a
bear.
question, Curtis and whoever else. That first Evo, is it still with no restrictions?
I believe so,
the
right?
last
You know
interview that I heard with the guys from Autel, and by the way, Autel is located up here. I know a few of the guys personally that work at Autel.
That's what I was telling
The
them.
last interview that I heard was they are looking into it, but they have nothing right now planned for the Evo series, the Evo 2 series.
Correct.
Okay.
That means that they got to put the chip in it, and we don't
They
want
gotta put it in.
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. That answer to that question, Ray, we know someone in here in New York who has one. You need to ask that individual. Denise.
From what I heard,
she has one, and if it still has that no fly, if it can still fly in no fly zone, she would know.
Right.
I don't know anyone with an Evo to
The original
to ask
Evo,
that.
right?
Oh, right. Yeah, why wouldn't it? You mean they did something in the software?
No,
to change
the
that?
firmware.
There's a new software update that came out.
They came out with a few firmware updates, and people were complaining that it wouldn't take off. And
oh, really? Oh no.
Yeah. So even with the first version Evo, so if you think you're going to get an Evo 2, it might and it might not take off.
Right.
You guys should get above and beyond drones in here. He was at CES and got to talk to the FAA, by the way.
EBR, what's up, brother?
Yeah, get him in here. I would love to talk to him.
Yeah, doesn't he have some footage or something of them people?
Yeah, he's got some footage where he gave the guys from the FAA a really hard time. He was talking about it on Matt's show the other day and showed some of the footage.
Oh, I would love to see that.
If you
we can read in between the lines of that crap.
All I'm going to say is, everybody stop. Everything that's gold, everything that glitters isn't gold. That's
Well, and besides that, all of these guys that are flying these Evo 2s, they're all pre-production, primed up. They're
pre-production beta versions.
Exactly. And it may not be whatever, if they ever come out with.
Correct.
This is true, Paul, but don't give me something and expect me to talk good about it if it's only half of what you said it could do.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do a review on something that ain't going to be what they really
Well,
release?
Mikey, hold on. I have an answer to that, Mikey. When
Yeah.
you get to about 50, 60,000 subscribers, you could put out a video taking a shit and you'll
Right.
get paid money.
Well, but
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
if you send out one post to 50,000 subscribers, statistically 25,000 of them are going to say, "Oh, I got a video." Out of that 25,000, you still have another 15 to 20 that are actually going to look at it.
Wow.
Okay, and at 60 cents to $1 a video, you do
Yeah,
the
okay, I got you.
you
So
do
yeah,
the math.
Yeah, just look at
Seriously.
iJustine and the stuff that she does in her reviews. It's like, holy man. But she does a really good review. I've got to say, when I watch her stuff, I mean, I know she's getting paid for doing this stuff. I know she's getting this stuff for free, but she's pretty straight up about the whole thing, you know.
if
You
there's
know
a
what?
way to do that, then that's the way to go because you got to keep your soul.
There
guys.
are
Start to-
creators out there, Mikey, that don't care if the vendor sends them another device or not.
Correct.
Those are the ones you should be concerned about.
Correct.
Like,
And that's who I want.
Al, I
like-
wouldn't say she's eye candy. Not at all. Sorry, man.
She
Well,
might be
it's
your
kinda
Kurt.
like-
She might be eye candy to him, Kurt. Come on.
Well, maybe okay. To each his own. Just for me, she's
No,
not. I mean,
I'm just saying, we all got different eyes, right?
What you saying, Ray?
yeah, we all have different tastes.
Ray.
I get it. I
Hey,
get it.
Ray.
The views of opinion of all those.
The views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel. In other words, now, in other words, Curtis, you may stop for her to pass at a red light. You may
You
not.
may not.
Right.
You may
Someone
run
else,
into a light
someone
pole,
else
you
might
may
get
not.
out of their car and walk her across the street.
Right.
And put their jacket down if it's raining.
So, Mikey, what's going on? What's up with you, man? What's happening with you and your channel and stuff?
Oh my God, dude. You know, and that's why I haven't been around. I'm pushing so hard. I'm trying so hard. I got 1 year, guys. The wife gave me 1 year to go absolutely crazy. She said, you know what? It's something I've always dreamt about. I want to be a freaking star. I just want to be. And so I got 1 year to give it everything I can. And if I don't do nothing in a year, then I quit. And so, but at least I could say I tried, I went for it, and then that's it. So that's my full-time job. I'm going nuts. I'm trying to put as much time as I can into the channel.
Come to New York, man. Come to New York and get some food.
I would love to. I want to, man.
Next Saturday night, Michael will be featured in Comedy Night at the Boom Boom Room.
Yeah.
And,
The boom boom room.
That's my spot.
Yeah, we're actually looking at some comedy clubs. They're free. You don't get paid to do them, but it's good advertisement. Just do a little skit. I think you get 5 minutes. It's open mic, so you get 5 minutes, and I'll throw some cards out at people, Philly Drone Life, and we'll see. But you know, it got a long way to go, guys. I'm a nobody. I just got a few subs. And so I'm trying. That's it. That's what Philly's been doing. Just trying, posting videos and just trying to stay positive.
well,
That's it.
Michael, God gave you a great personality.
All right.
You like that? You like the mini though, don't you, Mike? You like the mini, huh?
Well, it's okay.
Mikey,
Yeah.
Mikey, I'd like to put a disclaimer out there, okay? I'd like to tell you to stop abusing that little drone like it's a hooker.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
All right.
Guys, face it. I love the Mavic 2s. I mean, and this is what people don't talk about. If you have a Mavic 2 or a Phantom, you don't need another drone. I wish everybody would just and this is coming from a guy who loves drones. I mean, I shake when it's like I gotta have one. But if you have a Mavic, if you have a Mavic 2, if you have a Phantom 4, you don't need anything new coming out. You've already got everything you need to have a ball, to have fun, to make awesome videos, to enjoy life.
Tell that to
Hey,
Paul that
Michael, I
ordered 3
think what
Inspires.
Lawrence is saying, Michael, is stop flying until 1% battery
No,
left.
well, that's what I was getting to, dude. Let me tell you something.
Thank you, Paul.
I abused the living hell out of my Mavic 2s, and guys, listen, I owned a Phantom. I know you guys like Phantoms. I'm not putting
Mikey,
a Phantom down.
Mikey, you brought that bird back one time, and I saw her. She was breathing hard, bro.
Lawrence, I flew. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, but who cares? I flew a mile on 0%. On a mile. The thing went to zero and guys, listen, I'm going to tell you my secret here. I'm going to tell you when things are bad. Now, don't tell anybody else. Because anyway, when you hear me go quiet, you know I'm in trouble. Because otherwise my mouth's moving. Hey, 10%. Oh, here we come. I'm good. But when I go quiet, that's when everybody should go, okay, here we go. He's going
to lose. But Mike, that's not true, Mike. You pulled that before. You got real quiet. They said, it's coming back!
He started panicking, right?
You had me like, oh shit, this guy lost his job. Oh, it's back! Yeah. I'm not messing with you, bro.
Well, and what drives me crazy is coming back and he says he's got 7%, 6%, 5%. And then he stops at a hover and he says, well, let's go over here and look at this building. I'm going, what the hell?
He stops and goes squirrel.
Yeah.
Because I know it flies on 0%.
Mikey, I've seen you go. It's going into auto land. Let me cancel that. Oh, look at this building.
Yeah.
It did it today, guys. No lie. Today's video, I went silent for a little bit. That was no lie. It was literally at like 4%. It auto land and it just lands. And you can push up all you want. The thing's coming.
I don't work no more.
And I was on top of roofs and I'm like, Tell Steve, all right, face there. All right, that's north, that's left. All right, Steve, here's the wires. Let's get it in. And that's when you know I'm quiet, I'm in trouble. But we got her home. Hey, listen, and I forget who I was telling this, but just so everybody knows, every time I send the drone up, I kiss it goodbye. And we know that it could be the last time I ever see it. So
only you, Mike. Only you.
But listen, I only feel that way when I don't calibrate. That's why I make sure I calibrate every location. I don't care if I went there yesterday. Because if it fly away after that, at least I know I did the dance.
Yeah.
And I called DJ. I said, I did the dance.
Well, Michael used to be good about calibrating, Ray, but if you've watched the last few of his videos, he starts it up in his living room, carries it out,
walks outside, and walks outside with it. So now it's locked in inside his apartment.
In his living room.
At least it lands on the roof. When it comes home, it comes right on the roof. But
that's cool because you have no sensors to stop you from going through the door. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Listen,
we're gonna out the door.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that one. Huh?
I was bugging out, man. I said, this guy's crazy. He's freaking outside.
Listen, we got to do a drop and get out of here, guys. We got to do a drop and get out of here. All right. You ready, Mikey? I know it's been a long time. Wipe the dust off.
I miss you so much.
Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys. And we appreciate you all, but some of us have things to do, people to meet, and places
Lawrence,
to put the heat on.
Lawrence, let everybody say a prayer for Kobe Bryant and his family.
Right.
This is true. Definitely going out to Kobe Bryant and his family, relatives, etc. Everyone in the basketball
everybody
world.
involved with that.
People that are really, really hurt by this because he was a talented young man and he had places to go and people to meet and things to do.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Out to his family, everybody in a helicopter crash and all over, man. That was a big loss.
Everybody, thank you for watching Sunday Nights with Those Guys. Don't forget to check out Philly Drone Life at what time?
Every day around 10 a.m.
in the morning.
Yo, Mike, I'm gonna inbox you my email, Mike. I'm gonna inbox you my email so you can send me a link.
Phantom Flight 101 Wednesday nights with Those Guys.
That's right.
Everybody have a great evening. We appreciate you all very much.